While the Biennale is predicated on the labor of architecture historians, theorists, and curators, much of the work goes unacknowledged and unpaid. We are here to argue for the work of the academic labor. We are reporting from the inside, the work needed to produce reporting from the outside. As in many professions, the architectural historian and theorist comes in many forms. Unlike most professions, though, the figure must be made to explain herself. Not at all wed to art historical methodologies, nor interested in drawing connections between his intellectual project and built offerings, all the while refusing to identify as either scientist or humanist. Who is this person? What is their work? We are interested in disciplinary negligence.
I've spent a lot of time being overworked just to perpetuate the very things that I hate in this world. When I look at my options when I graduate, the options aren't expanding. My architecture school likes to talk about inequality and social issues. And for what I have learned here, I am grateful. Most of my peers, including myself, will continue to prepare for the immediate demands of working in the current market because that is our reality. We will build things that are pretty, but they will not help most people. We will work long hours and talk about social aims, all while working hourly wages to make another commodified building that will help make a developer a little bit richer.
In a conversation with some architecture students, the subject of research came up, as it now tends to do. I asked them how long they think it took for me to research an article I had written that they had read. A few weeks, a few months. When I told them that I had worked on it for 7 years, they were stunned. Now, it might be that I am a slow writer. I had to write the article while writing 2 books and 3 other articles and teach and travel. I have a family and I like to play basketball with my sons and go to the theater with my wife. But it was all those distractions that gave me the time to reflect on the subject of the article and that allowed the argument to gel and congeal and mature. For the students, research is merely a phase that is separated from creativity.
The Neoliberal Academy.
Between 2002 and 2006, I was a professor taxi myself, sprinting between 4 different schools in the same semester and traveling hundreds of kilometers every week not to miss class. In 4 years, I had teaching spells at 6 different schools, from first year undergrad to PhD students. I reduced my workload only when I was finally hired by one of them, but also when I realized that for 3 months in a row, I was mixing lectures between 2 places until a student would have complained. Or perhaps I stopped when I realized that I was not able to stretch my expertise beyond a certain limit. You are Italian. Can you teach Renaissance?
We are interested in bridges to practice.
Labor has been rarely discussed in architecture. While every Monday morning, new topics are being introduced to architectural and urban discourse, the most obvious one, the exploitation of labor for the sake of profit, has been virtually absent. This is a cultural and political problem, which touches on the way that we talk about labor and how we make it visible within our work as architects and as pedagogues. How can we make labor visible? How can we make the invisible visible?
My pay never went up on its own. It went up depending on which magazine I wrote for. Some pay $2 a word, and then there's one, this mystical unicorn, that everyone wants to write for. The word on the street is that they paid what worked out to $8 a word. I mean, at least that was true in 2007, so probably now it's $2.
We're interested in values of history and theory.
I am struck by the presumed division between the academy and activism, a division that the activist academic or academic activist could then negotiate, overcome, or strategically leverage. It's not that I think this division doesn't exist, of course it does, but it seems to me that this division exists in an almost entirely asymmetrical form. That is, the presumed division between academia and activism almost always seems to be apparent on only one of its sides. The side where academia looks across a divide it imagines between itself and activism and apprehends activism with either fascination or disdain as something different, something other.
These are excerpts from a book that the Architecture Lobby has produced called Asymmetric Labors, The Economy of Architecture in Theory and Practice. We have books to give out free. We hope you take them. We hope you read it. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you learn from it. Thank you.